I'll call the meeting to order. I'll sit there. Minutes.
Awesome.
August 2019, I believe.
I was not here, so I cannot acknowledge.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for our last meeting with any amendments offered.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. And you're gonna abstain, right, Donna?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It's actually 401, but she has,
That's what I have.
yeah. She said aye when everybody else did. but
That's okay.
She just
Must-
made it.
Ow.
I heard nay.
Come on.
Could be a little
Are these
whistle
the
brain.
same or are these different?
The shoreline, which once again doesn't have a place for our
Just start there
signature,
and y'all
so.
move them around.
15.
Val wasn't sure what she did with them, but I don't think we do much or anything with them either.
It looks like he's just replacing the staircase.
Yeah.
I've been watching too much home improvement things. I was thinking inside, I was like, what do we have to do
They're the
with
same
somebody's
thing.
staircase?
Well, they're the same.
Yeah, okay,
Go
that's
for
what we were trying to
watching
figure out. They look like the same.
Yeah, they're all
I should have gone to the
same thing.
second page, it would have been able to confirm that.
If you look at the very last page, you'll see what his issue is. And it is on the shoreline. I thought it was attached to the house when I first started reading it. And that's why, because of that. States right there, my project does not include work in the water or within the bank of a water body.
Is this a good thing? Yeah, I think it's
The stairs are beginning to fall apart.
looking pretty rough.
Mine looks worse because it's not on the waterfront. It didn't need approval.
So,
This is off of, Dave, isn't this off South Roberts? Or North Roberts Cove? North Roberts Cove, I think. Yeah. That's the one. It's tired as you go in, when you first go in off a bracket.
Okay, 196, 29.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at something different than you are.
all good.
My project's on Level Lake Road, the one I have in front of me.
Yeah, that's what this one is. They're all the same.
558?
Paul McNally?
558, yeah.
About 196.
Oh, that's right, okay.
About 29 on map 196. That's the same one.
Yeah, it says project address is
Yep.
558 Level Lake Road.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I believe this might be a trust that's doing that, because didn't Mr. Paul McNally pass away back in 2008? Or maybe this might be a junior. Paul J. McNally, could be. Too much information.
I said, go in the staircase. Okay.
They're all the same though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all the
Just
same.
need the info.
It would be like,
Paul J. McNally. What is the tax?
tax map, and lot number would be 196, lot 29.
And this is shoreline permit.
So we don't do anything with these, right? The shoreline,
Probably just
Permits.
disperse them for, retention in the town offices, in the different offices that they be aware that they're here, I guess.
there's no place to sign it. Didn't we did this,
Well, it was a, standard application that was different than a PDN. But there was no spot to sign on it. Not sharing anything at the time, I guess.
if we keep them all going in the same direction,
Good point, Mr. Brown.
you know, you could probably get it from Priscilla and give it back to Priscilla.
I'll wait my turn.
Wow, you're gonna wait your
I'm
turn?
gonna wait my turn.
This is truly one of a kind situation we got going on here.
Cause I'm not giving it to him.
The buck stops here. Page stops here.
There you go.
Thank you.
See the specs on so I can read that over
Oh,
your shoulder.
good. It saves time.
Such a stickler for details. See that dirty look you just gave me? Not as dirty as normal, right?
What do you mean by
Oh
that?
my
After
God,
the
you
fact.
hurt your feelings.
I've said that twice.
Means he's already done it.
Oh. So
He or
it
she
is
already did it, yeah.
asking forgiveness instead of permission?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand how that
that's
works.
what I would assume.
I didn't know what that was.
It has the normal meaning.
I grew up under that attitude. It's safer with my mom and dad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
Frost wall. What is a frost wall?
quite often it's below grade, you know, it's something that things are, like a garage door opening would have a frost wall in the foundation. It's thicker than a normal foundation.
So it won't lift.
So it doesn't have the frost affected as badly, you know, anything that's plowed is generally susceptible to frost more impact.
Oh.
Most often?
Yeah. Well, if it's on the south side of a building, sitting in the sun for the major part of the day, the frost affects it less.
This is true, but aren't all
Glad
frost
you always
walls
come back
below
after
ground?
winter.
Yeah.
I
You
stay
said
warm on
most
house.
often.
Yeah.
Frost walls are below ground.
Some people can continue their frost wall and have it above finished grade as well. That's what I meant by that. I didn't mean to dispel any false information.
Oh, thank you for this one, I was trying to clarify this.
Stickler for details.
You can put the done ones in the done pile, too.
You told me Dunn was in California.
What, Dunn was in California?
Yeah, Dunn.
There you go.
It's a town in California, Dunn, California. Enough rhetoric.
Please.
Little after the fact.
After the fact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, one of your neighbors called?
Was that?
I said, in other words, one of your neighbors called after the fact?
But this is a pretty good example of how the state takes those after-the-fact applications, reviews them, and then quite often they'll approve
Let
them.
them retrofit it.
There any,
They would need.
are there any fines for doing something and then getting all the paperwork done after the fact?
Depends on if you're a frequent flyer.
Oh.
You know, a lot of.
So one time oops is okay, but if you do a lot, then
Well,
they start to
Yeah,
get
kinda,
suspicious?
yeah. I mean, the proof,
I wondered about that myself when I saw that after the fact.
But I don't think we wanna go promoting that.
Yeah.
no, you don't want to go promoting that.
Because that may not necessarily be the case in every case, that,
It's not, definitely not the case. Every individual case has individual circumstances that directly relate to the outcome of the situation. I hope that's clear.
That was very good.
I didn't know how else to put it.
Pretty near diplomatic, I like it.
all right, let's see, what do we got? Anything on the other? Nothing?
Nada.
We remove the budget, we're all set with that from the last meeting, I presume.
Yeah?
Okay.
Kelly,
Okay, good.
I forget to come in the next day and bring all the stuff. The team worked together and deciphered the budget from the video.
But they have it.
They have it, absolutely have it.
They have it.
It's been
That-
presented. Words in the
All
process.
right, lavender
Approved.
to be done in September. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
The last meeting, I think it was Ralph was gonna call,
Tom, or, was I gonna call Tom or Sel?
Tom.
Okay.
They usually walk with us, we have the
Well, I didn't
form.
call either one, so,
We should have a form someplace to fill out after we've done it, so.
just like the Hutchins Field form,
Yeah.
right?
I've got those.
They're abandoning
So-
us.
The, I guess the assignment should still be mine. All I have to do is drive over the town line there, he's right on the right, after the
Yes.
town line.
Right there on the corner.
Well, they
Anybody
have,
go to Lino's on a regular basis? Cause quite often he's in there.
Yeah?
they also have these things too nowadays.
And I got a new phone and none of my contacts, I thought I did the right thing and transferred everything, but no contacts, no
Do you
numbers.
need their phone number?
Tom's, yeah,
Throw me a piece of, I don't wanna give it out over the air.
I don't blame you.
So are you gonna call Tom?
He's gonna give me the number.
Oh, he's giving you the number.
I was remiss in my duties, please forgive me. Thank you very much. I do remember the combination for the gate, if everybody wants that.
All right, the files on top of the filing cabinet.
Still waiting for a rainy day,
Yeah,
we'll
it
hold
hasn't-
free, or it'll be done before the first of the year, I'm sure, because we'll hit some weather with,
Yeah.
And
doesn't mean we'll be outside.
Union Meadows, deed restrictions.
Oh. I
we
have that.
tasked Priscilla with that, remember?
Yeah.
I'll give you the original. It does the agendas on there.
So this is a reply from the attorney?
Yeah, it's primarily Nathan and him going through the process, or what,
Right, the questions and answers back and forth till everything was done, right. I remember reading that.
You know, that the town can own and also hold the easement.
Right.
Oh, yes.
There's also a little snippet about a search for a plow truck under $5,000.
Oh,
Such a thing exists.
Do you want this letter to go in with the minutes, attached to the minutes?
That probably would be a good idea, I would think, so there'll be a
A record,
more permanent record of it.
will do.
All right, conservation easement draft,
I have those.
which Dave sent out.
So,
I mean,
let me just hand these out first, if I may. This is a tax card and map of the properties that we're talking about. I also outlined the property owned by Fish and Game, just for everybody's
Let's see how.
edification.
Okay, there's one.
Thank you, Priscilla, for doing that.
You're welcome.
Do you have one?
This copy, I've got a copy of it, down the
Thank you.
made a long time ago.
I would be without a copy.
We have bigger maps.
Yeah. I also have copies. Now, this one here is of what was referred to as the McLaughlin property. And this is a draft of an easement. It's not marked draft, but and that was just because the way the file was that I had. Anyway,
So Dave, is that this particular, this larger one with the number 1 on it, is that the McLaughlin
Yeah.
lot that we're talking about? See, the map you gave us, there's 3 with,
That's
there's 3 with,
Fish and Game map is the one that has the and it's
I know,
FMC on it.
that's not the
Oh,
McLaughlin
Okay, the
lot.
one that.
Which one?
Okay, they all have a one.
I think this one right here is the McLaughlin lot, is that correct?
no,
Here's Harmony Drive coming in.
yeah,
From what I've understood over the past discussions, McLaughlin lot is that one, if there was a road to continue, but, you know, you're saying it's not? That's not the McLaughlin, that big one's not the McLaughlin lot?
where's the other one here?
There's Barbour and there's McLaughlin and there's...
Lorien.
Lorien, yeah.
So I think that
I think the Lorien is the one that says 21 acres. Or there's an L 21. It's a lot bigger than the,
That lot, that one, big one in the middle is Holland Hellingworth, and it says,
well,
but I'm not sure what that, the name of the lot is.
the lot that's on the water directly across, if you look at the map, directly across from what would be the Irving Station and the railroad tracks.
yeah,
That one, I believe, is the McLaughlin lot, and I believe that the large one that you're pointing to, and I could be wrong, but I believe that one is the Barbour lot. McLaughlin is one that we purchased, and Lorien's the one we purchased.
yeah. So the Barbour lot is the one you drive directly into.
No, if
I
you
could
follow
do-
Harmony Road
Yeah.
on that map,
Yeah.
Harmony Drive takes you right into the McLaughlin lot.
Yeah, it does. And that's where the parking area is already
Right,
semi-established.
and that's one of the things that isn't in here, but we need to remember, we need a kingdom lot. If we put this easement through,
Yeah,
it's not in the current easement draft. But what we need to do is to create that in the draft so that we have an area for parking. I mean, trails are not gonna be an issue of constructing trails, but parking would be, so we need to have some kind of a kingdom lot there.
didn't we figure there's that trail that's there, we're gonna go 100 feet each way and call it, what? I thought it was 2 acres, but maybe not, maybe.
I remember discussions about 5 acres, but I don't, I mean, that's probably a little bit too much. That lot is a 32 acre lot.
Yeah, I did read a comment in one of the minutes that I got offline that talking about a 5 acre
Yeah.
area for parking and picnicking.
Good.
Okay.
And
But
the whole swath.
The
right
actual
down.
location wasn't
Is
specified.
that the one up in the, if you take a left on Harmony, it's up there?
Yeah, it's after the garbage dumpsters there. There's
A logical place to put it is a parking area.
one homestead on
I
the
I
left.
recall we were talking about putting the parking off to the right
If you go
there.
to picnics, it'd make more sense.
As you approach that
Right.
stump dump kind of landing for the logging trucks, as you approach that whole area was gonna be enhanced. So, right or left, there's still a trail that, if that parking area was a clock, the trail would be like at 1 o'clock
If we can get that in here.
as you're approaching it.
Get what?
The ownership
so-
of the lots.
Really, the major part of that parking area would be to the left.
You were
Not to
talking
the
about
right.
which lots?
I think the major part of the
Go-
road.
go Harmony and take a left.
And you were talking
Yeah.
And
about
at the end of that,
That's
right,
what
that's what
okay.
we talked, that's where we were talking about.
Remember the homeowners met us at the end of the driveway?
Yeah.
So we'll have to determine, and we probably need to do another site walk and decide where and how much from a kingdom lot standpoint. Having a trail from the parking area at the end of Harmony Drive down to the water is not anything that any conservation easement would negate.
Right,
We just want to be sure that this easement, if you read it over carefully, is nothing more than a copy of an adjacent property easement, kind of brought over, I believe is what Nate intended at the time.
and the easement we create will allow wheeled vehicles, I hope.
We need to make a list of everything that we want, and we need to delineate on a map the kingdom lot or the parking area where it's gonna be, and any trails. Well, trails we don't have to really delineate. But I would suggest we put that together and give it to the attorney to go through the easement with those stipulations and be sure that they're in there from a legalese standpoint.
So this information came from Cindy in the assessor's office, so it's,
The tax card,
yeah,
I came right offline.
offline, okay.
Yeah, you can get that right offline. You can get the maps offline too.
We can see all these lots down here.
What I did is I took the map, I zoomed in on it online so you can see from a mapping standpoint where the property lines are as opposed to the theoretical shoreline.
Yeah.
Because the property lines go out further than what you would think based on some wetlands along the shore.
And that one trail we walked, Dave, you were on that walk, right? It was
Yeah.
a couple hour day that we went out and just kept going until we saw the rock walls and stuff. That the rock wall gate at one point that was about 12 or 14 feet wide, or just a break in the wall where they were logging or something.
When we went down to the water?
Yeah.
Before we went down to the water, yeah.
If you're looking at having picnics there, would there be, fire pits, or is that something else? Cause I was looking here on this page, burning, I don't know if that means within a fire pit.
There'd be no burning, we wouldn't want
So you
anybody
wouldn't
burning
want a
anything
fire
out there.
pit
No,
there.
no,
Okay.
what about a hibachi or a
Or
cook grill?
a charcoal grill
You know, your
installed.
definition of hibachi and somebody else's, my feeling is, you allow burning of anything or any kind of a fire to cook out or whatever else, you got trouble. You've got a forest floor covered with pine needles in that area.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would say no open fires.
Mhm.
That's my personal.
yeah, well, I mean, it's,
I like it.
But the map that I outlined
Peanut butter and
in
jelly
red,
sandwich.
the one that you have, this one here, shows how that the Fish and Game property really comes up and abuts the property up here. It's kind of interesting how that comes out, but that's exactly what shows on the town map.
yeah, that little peninsula is, I mean, that little, where the land almost kisses right there, that's kind of, neat.
It also says here on letter J, the use of wheeled vehicles and/or camping may be permitted by the Town of Wakefield Board of Selectmen or their designee.
But
Which would be the Conservation Commission would be a designee,
So
so.
you mentioned about wheeled vehicles, would four-wheelers go
yes,
in there?
absolutely.
Well, I mean, I look at snow machines, and there's no
Or snow
denying
machines.
that a track is
Right.
propelled and goes around on a wheel, so I mean, I just can't see how they get away from a wheeled vehicle with a snow machine, it's just.
So every time
They have,
someone
though.
wanted to, I mean, say I had a four-wheeler and I wanted to take it down there, I would have to
Absolutely,
go to the selectmen,
No,
then,
It could be,
Or-
if it's in the easement as a permitted use, then nobody, I mean, the easement permits the use.
So you wouldn't really have to go to anybody once it's
once this
permitted on the
passes,
easement.
then that's open, okay.
I mean, so are wheeled, self-propelled, like mountain bikes, are those allowed?
Why not?
If you're gonna put a four-wheeler.
I mean, from our standpoint of a wheeled vehicle, from anybody else's standpoint, probably, when they say wheeled vehicles, it's anything with wheels.
Yeah. A
Excluding,
wheelbarrow.
theoretically.
Or, yeah, see, a wheelbarrow would be permitted because there's only one wheel, it's not a.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
Some
that's
have
true
two.
too, I've seen them, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, sorry, I'll be quiet now.
Now, Rails for Trails money that's been funded by federal funds stipulates no wheeled vehicles unless snow covered.
So you ride bicycles on these trails all the time.
Well, there's no reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
This is not a Rails for Trails out here.
The thing between your and your
No, from Route 16 to Wolfboro is. This is not.
Oh.
That's owned by the state.
Okay, but from Route 16 to Wolfboro is
From Route 16 to Wolfboro was funded by
better,
federal Rails for Trails money.
and they say no wheels.
Well, don't trains have wheels? Trains have wheels
Bicycles are
too.
breaking the law.
Yeah, they do. Wheels and
maybe
rails.
they've changed.
We could turn this into an all-night discussion. Come on, Steve.
As long as there's no big wheels, we'll be all right.
So I think, my personal opinion is that we need to do a site walk, make some notes, come back to a meeting and make a list of the things that we want relative to parking, access, anything else that we decide while we're out there, and give that list along with the deeds to the attorney, with the permission of the town administrator, obviously, because it's gonna cost a couple of bucks to do this, and the selectmen. And we'd have it done. But I think a site walk and then us coming up with a list of the pieces that we want. I don't know, any of you that attended a seminar on easements in this room probably 4 years ago. The whole thing with an easement back then, it says you have a fistful of sticks, you put them on the table and everybody decides what sticks they want. That thereby meaning that if we want wheeled vehicle stick, we take that, that goes on the easement.
No,
This one says they can go walking,
S'mores.
When
hunting,
would you
bird
like to do
walking,
this site?
watching, and other
Yeah.
transit passive recreational purposes, but not camping or making fire, so it was very specific about not
Right,
making fire.
right.
But you're gonna have an area where people might be
But
sometimes when I verbalize things, my brain kicks in. Cause I walked snowmobile trails between Pine River Pond, the lake, and Pine River Pond Road, those snowmobile trails.
Sure.
And I remember walking up on a fella who was sitting very quietly ready to hunt deer. But, my dog disturbed that. But, so, that's what I'm saying here. So they have hunting in this area that we would have possibility of people
Sure.
picnicking and trailing. Okay.
We
Just
gotta
where
wa-
you're warned,
it's- it's
because
public
they're
money.
not warned.
It's public money, and from my own, you can't restrict. You're selling the construction, the development rights, but you can't restrict the public.
Right.
And I don't think you should restrict fishing or hunting,
Oh, I agree.
or ATVs as opposed to snow machines. I
Correct.
mean, that to me is, well, it's not good on that book. Anyway,
I'm with you on that, Dave. I think that they should use those, what are those little motorized two-wheelers that Dean came and come up with? What do they
Yeah.
call those things?
Yeah, whatever they were called.
What are they?
They're all,
Segway.
Segway.
they're all over Europe. It's amazing how many of them are over there.
I'd like to see a
Not
hundred
so
of
much
those.
here.
I'd like to see a Segway race on these trails in the future.
okay, Ralph, we'll put you in charge of that. We'll add that to
The
paragraph
campus
3,
cops used to do
subsection
it through
2.
the Campus wind trail. Creep up on you, and those things.
Puppies aren't cheap.
I feel like I'm on the way to
When
the
do you want to do this walk?
Group W bench.
That is up to the commission when they'd like to do it. Now, before we go any further, I have the DeLorean, which should be the same as the,
Thank you.
sorry,
Got it.
it pretty much should be the same as the McLaughlin.
Oh, he's.
There you go.
You don't have.
But the thing I neglected in the way this was set up
But you have.
in the file that I had, it's not marked as a draft. Certainly, Priscilla, our secretary, has a very good way of putting that in fade across every page saying draft, which is a great thing to do, but I don't have that technology. So anyway, these are drafts, and that would be what we would probably provide the attorney with our list of what we want to ensure is allowed or disallowed, so that the attorney can make sure it's in there from a legalese standpoint.
So, I got a silly question. Are these, anytime the town wishes to create one of these, are there public hearings or a process of a number of public hearings that, the public can sit and listen to the proposed easement or anything like that? Is that a requirement of the Conservation Commission?
Well, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay? Because some years ago, there was a warrant article approved by the voters for $500,000 to acquire property for conservation, and there were a number of pieces of property, of which these two were part of
Yeah, I remember
those
that.
pieces. The other pieces were acquired, or money was given to acquire the conservation easement, and those are done. This one, I tracked it on back. I saw selectmen's meetings when they discussed the acquisition of this property. Selt was there, Moose Mountain Greenway was there, and they talked about doing conservation easements. I reconfirmed with Cindy Bickford today that there are no conservation easements on these two properties. I went back and found a copy of a selectmen's meeting where they discovered that they had, it was either $15,000 or $18,000
15,
left
yeah.
over, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they put it into the general fund. Everybody forgot they were supposed to do a conservation easement, I guess. So then the question came up to us here, gee, it's not in conservation, it's supposed to be, everybody agreed to that, so did the voters. But who wants to spend an additional $18,000 of taxpayers' money to do this? So one day when I was driving by, I saw her Nate out front, and I stopped and I said, hey, can you get permission to talk to the attorney and find out if we can do our own on the deed, which has to be a heck of a lot cheaper.
Yes, it is.
And he did, and I saw the results, we can, and I think we should.
There you go.
The,
And save money to boot.
they can't be exactly the same size.
No.
Well, because they both say that both 283 acres.
They both say what?
That they're both 283 acres.
That is totally incorrect, because one lot's 32, the other's 21.
Right, but if you look, one says Lorien and one says McLaughlin,
Yeah.
What page you on, Steve?
page 2. That's why, so there may be,
They copied and pasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says approximately.
page 2 under E.
Yeah.
E states that they're both 283 acres. So
Yeah, but
apparently
it-
it's
not-
the
actually,
same.
they're talking about the 283 acre
Branch.
body of water being the
Right.
Union
Oh,
Meadows.
283 acres is Union Meadows, which is a wetland complex of approximately 283 acres. So they're talking about Union Meadows.
Right, but they are two separate, that's what I was just trying to figure out, whether they're the same or they're separate or,
Yeah, see, on page 1, if you go to the bottom paragraph, Lorien says 21 acres, McLaughlin says 32.
Yeah.
okay, I saw the 283 and I was like, are these the
All
same?
right, you're keeping us honest, there's nothing wrong with that.
No?
So everybody now has a copy of these as drafts.
Anybody float a date for a sidewalk yet, or?
No, nobody has.
How many folks have days that they know they can do? Maybe if there's, one particular day that everybody shares.
Yeah, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays are usually the worst ones for me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are always better for me, but that's just generally speaking. Excuse me.
I'm good for any time really, but I just need to be reminded. But I can put it in on
You're
the,
looking at this
That's
week
the only
or
time
next
I have
one?
in September will be the 20th and 21st, which is a Friday and Saturday.
when is, hunting season begin?
Boy, September looks bad.
Bow season's
October 1.
15th.
September,
Yeah.
September 15th.
Yeah.
for bow?
That's bow. I don't know.
So I'll dig out my little antler cap.
If you could, please.
I'm not too concerned about archery season. I don't know that there's ever been anybody mistaken it for a deer and shot with a bow.
You have to
But we
get
can get that one.
pretty close to be shooting with a bow.
And we could be first.
There's nothing wrong with that. I
If they
wouldn't have
can't
a
figure out
problem.
I have a
you're
problem
not
with
a deer in 40 yards.
I don't have a problem going out there. I don't think that would.
I don't have a problem going out there, I just don't want to be first to be shot with a
No,
bow.
I don't think anybody would be shot.
Okay.
Well, we have a meeting on the 24th. It's a Tuesday. You said Tuesdays are better.
Yeah, do you have anything open that week?
Would
The
that,
24th, week of the
be okay?
24th?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
we're
got
already in
family
conservation
gathering on the
mind, so you go out and you do the walk
My
that
wife's
day and
birthday
then
on
come back and have
23rd,
that
I've got a
evening.
wedding in
Actually, you
New Jersey,
could
the 27th, 28th.
Take care of business in the field.
Massachusetts.
There you go.
on
We'll have our
Field
meeting,
trip.
but we won't
The
have any-
24th, that should
We
be
ha-
ready.
have him
Okay.
follow us
We can
around.
do that.
Yeah, we got batteries, cameras.
Can we
We've
shoot
got
for,
it.
can we shoot for the 24th?
Yeah.
We could.
And have a field
Sounds
trip
right.
for our meeting?
Well, we can do a site walk,
Yeah.
whether, I think that when we're done with that site walk and everything else, everybody can make notes, we need to come back and compile those notes. And so whether we do that and then bring everything together at our meeting that night,
I won't be
Or-
here for that meeting.
pardon me?
I won't be here for that meeting.
For the 7 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, I won't. I'm going to be gone for a week.
That's
vacation.
okay, you can watch the video.
I will, yes.
It'll be entertaining.
Paul will
Yeah.
take care of
Like watching paint dry.
No.
Okay,
As long as everybody doesn't talk at once.
it. That's hard. We're good at that.
so I don't know what, if we
All
do a
boards are.
sidewalk on the 24th, we wanna be sure that we've made all our notes, and we're pretty well satisfied. We might wanna sit on it for a
Yeah.
couple of 3 weeks to really kind of percolate before we do anything, but I don't have a problem with the sidewalk and then meeting that night for our regular meeting and put on the agenda just another, this is our list of what we think from the meeting, because we'll all have had time to make notes during the walk and then we'll have time to think about it afterwards, so.
Do we
No.
have a time for our site walk?
Okay.
Preferred time.
No preferred time for me.
What,
Daylight.
Yeah,
I don't know, what about like 5 o'clock or something?
It'll be,
Would that be
it'll
enough?
be getting dark about 6:30 by then.
Or 4 o'clock?
I get scared in the dark.
4:30. I just figured maybe if, do that and then we can tie it in with the meeting afterwards or something instead of,
Yeah, it's just getting dark earlier.
It
I mean,
is.
What time is it now?
Yeah.
20 minutes, quarter of 8,
Quarter of
and it's pitch black out there.
and 2 more weeks is
I
gonna
think it
How
was
about for
right
the-
around 7.
Yeah.
Sunset is right around, it's probably a little, could even be a tad before 7 right now, so. Another 2 weeks, it'll
Are
probably.
we bringing a picnic
closer.
basket? Because I
I
can meet
was
at
gonna
noon
say,
if there's a
what-
picnic basket involved.
carry a pizza. If you
Uh.
said 4, is 4 o'clock okay? Cause that would, we could do the walk. How long do you think the site walk would last?
Depends on how fast we walk. How many people are shooting arrows at us?
Yeah,
Are we planning on doing both of them?
not necessarily back to back. I like to eat, but that's just me.
I would think
I
if we
normally
did
eat
it,
on a schedule.
if we did it at 4, we might get back in time to go eat
Well, that'd be good.
before the meeting.
There you go.
I would suggest 4,
And we have enough light at 4 too.
yeah.
I've always got my helmet with that little light on the top, like a miner's hat.
Sunset will be 6:38 on that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's still
Plenty.
be light with no problem
Right.
until 6:30. I mean, if it's till
Before-
7. It was still light when we walked in at 7.
Yeah.
So.
4 o'clock by consensus?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so, do we wanna meet there at the end of Harmony Drive?
You can meet at Parks and Rec and take their bus down.
I wouldn't wanna have to back up us out of that road.
I think it would be best for everybody to meet down there, as opposed to
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
forgetting to
Where
pick
is
somebody up or
Harmony Road?
forgetting to get picked up or.
Meet where?
All right, I
At
know
the
that
site.
Irving
At the
is,
site.
Newt's over here. Where's Harmony Road? We got
It's
the
down further.
railroad.
You know where the highway was?
If you want, I'll pick you up here.
Okay.
It would be
Or-
probably advisable
Okay.
for more people, maybe to meet
How many
here
is the
and
first
drive
one
down together,
to get on
so that you
16
don't have
south
everybody
from
parked
the
in
urban?
front of that poor guy's house down at the end of the road.
Yeah,
So if I
I mean,
go-
I'll
Keep going
I'll meet
south.
everybody down there
Okay.
myself, because I know how to
Probably,
get in. but-
couple hundred feet down, it's not very far down
Right.
past the Irving. It's the
Okay.
first
It's directly
one.
across from that turnaround.
The
the
halfway
state
Right,
turn.
that's
plan.
what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're being attacked by a mosquito, by the way.
Oh, yeah, they love me. Fair amounts. Was he like on my head or something? You want to?
No, it was running around one other.
All right, we all set with that?
Yes.
Let's see, Gage Hill.
First, we need to know about posts. Posts and stuff.
I was leaning up against the post the other
You haven't done
day.
anything with posts, I can tell I was out there today. They're still standing.
Is there,
Yeah.
is there an office?
They're in
anywhere
pretty
near that
firm, I
post?
think, basically, just somebody needs to throw some dirt in there.
I've got a spade right in the back of my truck, and I drive by
Go
there
for it.
quite a bit.
Yeah. Try not to get stuck in the lower part of the lot there, it's still kind of soft.
How would that get fixed so we don't have somebody who would come in there? What do we need to have brought in? So that,
I
think
have
I
no
was-
idea how.
I was gonna ask Brock if we could get some of that dirty fill down at the,
Yeah. Some sort of dirt, something to compact it.
Yeah.
Right now it's just loose glass, and I can do it in four-wheel drive, but if you got two-wheel drive, you're gonna get stuck.
yeah, I would hate that for somebody to be.
yeah, maybe I can talk him into loading my dump truck up with some dirty dirt, you know,
Yeah.
and I just, as I raise it, dump it out, drive along so that it kind of spreads, and then start counting on the rain and the other traffic to come in. And I mean, I can get the machine down there eventually, but
It would at
2025
least
is a
keep
long
people
time
from
now.
driving on it if it was piled up on it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and if people just stay to the right of that
Yeah.
parking lot, you know, uphill,
Yeah.
it stays pretty.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of bringing the glass in is to expand the parking lot for more parking. So.
Yeah, I put a note on Priscilla's page when she posted it originally, and said, you know, stay to the right side of the lot, you're okay. But I haven't seen anybody stuck yet, so.
So the left side of the lot just got the,
Just got the.
It's not
crushed
just glass, but it's primarily glass. I mean,
okay, so it needs more fill?
yeah, more crushed gravel or, you know, bank run gravel with small aggregate. Something that was screened would be good.
Well, Brock and his crew brought that in before, right?
Brought the glass in, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe they bring in some more fill for us.
Maybe. I know they're busy, you know, I mean, this is the time of the year where they're trying to get things done.
Well, did I hear that the dirt roads are now going to be contracted out?
Plowing, yeah. But you gotta prep them, you know, I mean,
So it's just the plowing?
yeah.
That's all that's been,
That's the proposal, I believe. Yeah,
okay,
that's
I
what
haven't
the
heard
bids-
all of it. so
That's what the
all.
bids are on, the snow removal for the season. They're gonna see how it works this year and hopefully, I think it's gonna prove to be a cost savings myself because, you know, the private contractors, they don't wanna be out there more than they have to be. I wouldn't think they got other places to go. Who knows?
They could be out on my road taking care of it.
So we need more dirt to fill around the post though. Is that right?
I think there's enough right there.
There's probably enough there, yeah, and you'd have. to
I
do
just
a
gotta do it, Dave.
Little borrow pit over on the side, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
Okay.
I'll bring some dirt with me when I go over there with a shovel
Need it.
and a dump truck.
You know, as far as the trail goes, I've been out there twice since we met last. It is now has the debris cleared from the beginning of the trail all the way out to a little above waypoint 8, which is within shouting distance of the northeast corner. I've been clearing some of that as I went. I was out there twice clearing the debris off the rest of the trail, so it's clear. So that leaves about 6/10 of a mile to go around and cut and clear. But the part of the trail that is involved now doesn't take much clearing. If people are going to go out on the loop, that's the more difficult part of the trail. They can step over a few objects. I'm not worried about them. If they get that far, they'll make it. I did. I guess I said last time that I met a couple out there on the trail. Maybe not. Was that last meeting? Yeah, that was last meeting. I met 3 people out there. So some people are using it. We have 14 flyers left in the box out of the 55 that we have made over the last couple of weeks. So
Really?
people have been taking the maps. What they're doing with them, I don't know. Rolling joints, I don't know. But there are lots of maps out there that are distributed
Hope they're
now.
not using that, they're all joints.
It's not good paper.
Ink poison.
Anyway, it's looking pretty good. At least out, especially out to waypoint 7. It's pretty nice. From there, it gets a little harder to walk, but it's not bad. If an old guy like me can do it, anybody can.
All right.
And there was a place we walked there at the first part where it was kind of wet and we had to go up around.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that maybe in the future we build like a boardwalk type thing.
Oh, that was right around the first waypoint for the
Right.
first vernal pool. Right now, it's a dry, left side of the trail is dry enough you can walk it even when the pool's full. And people have been doing that. It's got kind of a defined path, but it's fairly narrow going on the left side of the trail. At some point, we probably want to go in and put in some upward walk up across that, but that's pricey for the amount of value you get out of it. If you can go around it with no problem, I don't really think we need to put one in.
How about some old tires and do like a football training camp where they're running through the
But
tires?
we don't want to disrupt the flow of water out of the vernal pool.
The tires will
That's
hold the
another-
water and
So we
create a
can't
bed
just have
habitat for
You
mosquitoes.
Lots of small
can't just throw a couple of
trees in
trees in there to walk across, yeah.
there. Okay.
There's a way of properly doing it, but it is like building a deck, so it gets a little bit pricey.
Mhm.
You want it up a little bit,
We can walk
you don't
around
want
it
it
even if it's
to
not.
flow under it. And you can walk around it.
The
so
walk
it's not
around
really
wasn't
big.
bad.
What about an old
Go out there
aluminum
in the
dock?
spring and see whether you can live with it.
Could be a different time.
Would an old aluminum dock work?
Um,
Something that's like 10 feet long and 4 feet
well,
wide?
it's probably gonna end up having to be more than 10 feet long, but that would cover one of them, probably. But again, it would have to be propped up. But you could do that with a couple logs underneath it, that were running parallel with the flow of water. There are a couple of ways you can do it. Anyway, that, I would say, can be deferred. I haven't done any more lot tags, but I keep thinking about it, and I need to order some more. But looking pretty good. People are becoming aware of it.
That's great.
It is a good thing.
Good job, Paul.
And I'm determined to get it, that last part of it done sometime before the end of October. We'll see. I might get caught out there. They're not supposed to hunt, but they probably are.
If they are, they're gonna be coming in from the other side.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure where, I haven't noticed any no hunting posting on it. And probably has it, but I haven't noticed it.
What?
On the boundary.
No, I was told only to do the front
Okay,
and down both sides.
okay. I haven't looked,
20, 30 feet or so.
haven't looked for the signs, so
Yeah.
they may be there.
That's all we did.
Yeah.
That's all we did. There's more signs downstairs though,
Oh,
the
all right.
file, not many. So maybe a couple on the back property line would be appropriate.
Okay.
Some people may ignore them. Troublemakers.
Well, unless it's posted, they don't know
The trouble is with, even if you post it, they're so far apart that unless they're done at very regular intervals, it's very hard to.
Some little rascals know that if it's not properly posted all the way around,
it. Well, I suppose, but according to Salt, it's every 100 feet.
Yeah, if we're doing every 100 feet, we need over 150 signs.
Well,
And, I mean, we're talking about 2.8 miles of perimeter there. So
some-
100 feet is not practical.
it's all good.
Alright, anything else? I think that takes care of it. Public comment?
Come on, Sean.
Seeing nothing,
Is there-
public comment, let's see, next
24th.
meeting will be the 24th. We'll be, we're gonna, and that's gonna have to be posted.
Why don't you declare it now for
So
4 o'clock?
we will post a 4 PM meeting at, the end of Harmony Drive. And then
Well, I wouldn't put it as the end of Harmony, I would just put it at
Union Meadows.
the whatever location, either Warren or McLaughlin, I wouldn't leave it at,
Yeah, they might be.
Well,
those are names that we're using for reference, those are the prior owners. Right now, the actual owner is the town of Wakefield.
Yeah.
So like I put down, lot map number.
yeah, I'd do that, because we're not gonna be at the end of Harmony Drive, we're just,
Is
say we're
there,
gonna be meeting there, and then we're gonna be going in, so I probably wouldn't put it
Specify
as.
as a site walk and they'll figure it out,
yeah,
I would hope.
I would think so.
Can I put this all on one agenda? And then the regular meeting will be at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
How does everybody feel about, or anybody feel about, the idea if there's not a whole lot of paperwork and stuff in the bin that day, I mean, would anybody consider, well, I guess we'd come in and gather our notes and stuff like that
Yeah.
at a regular meeting. Okay. I was just thinking if there was nothing else to do and the site walk was something that did get accomplished, you know, do we
And
really
make
need
that
to
the meeting.
convene?
Well, good point, yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true too, because we were talking about, we're probably gonna want some time to think about.
Yeah. and since we come
Anyway,
back
so-
with a pile of notes,
I just think if we sat down long enough for everybody to make
Yeah.
their notes and everybody shares
It
their
could be a
notes and then we go
short
back and really
Yeah.
think about that for,
Yeah,
to the following meeting or two in October. In
So-
the interim, as we're beginning this process now, is it about time to make sure that this is going to be acceptable to the selectmen?
yeah,
Which
maybe some,
Acceptable, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, we're pushing ahead to come back and request the conservation easements be reviewed and put in place by the town attorney, with the town of Wakefield being the property owner and the Conservation Commission being the monitors of the easement. And it's gonna cost a few bucks.
And
I don't think there's gonna be any opposition. I just would like to be sure we've kept them in the loop before we just come and drop it on their table.
Well, I'm sure they're probably got, how much, I think we got enough money to probably do it out of,
we do, undesignated fund balance.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got enough money to do that.
so I'm sure they wanna take it out of there.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I wanna be sure politically,
Yeah, they should be made aware that we're pursuing it.
Well,
I
maybe
will-
ask Kelly,
I can notify them.
ask somebody if there's
Yeah.
room on one of their upcoming agendas to have it discussed.
Mhm.
what would they, I mean, I'm being naive or stupid, what would they be discussing? Is just the idea that, oh yeah, they're gonna go walk around out there and we're gonna
No.
look at.
No, about
possibly making
going forward with the easement.
it- Right.
Yeah.
it's them, they're aware of what we're doing from the standpoint of
Oh,
an
just-
easement. Even if
So
we pay
it
for
wouldn't
all of
take
it
a
out of,
whole lot of time for
They
them,
don't
is what
watch
I'm
all of our
saying. Putting
meetings.
that on their agenda is not gonna burden
I think they
them
have a
with
life.
something that
Oh.
we're doing, except to say, oh, I see that the Conservation Commission is looking at this
Yeah.
easement.
Unless it's an
And
agenda
once-
item, they won't discuss it unless you bring it in under new business or other business or something like that, sneaky like that. But,
Correspondence.
correspondence maybe. But,
Which is,
it's best to
Send them a
just
letter
ask
and they
them.
can read it, and if they have an objection, they'll call you in. If they don't, then you go further.
that might be, yeah,
Yeah.
either way is good.
So we should have
But you're
Donna
right.
draft a letter to,
No, that's all right.
All right, motion to adjourn, I'll talk to the selectmen.
Yeah, good idea. I'll move that we adjourn.
Second,
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.